Welcome back to Linemen Football. Today I'm making a special video for all the lineman players out there. Now, if you guys subscribe to this channel, you have seen my top 5 glove video, my top 5 cleat video, how to put on a football uniform, the top 5 things you need in football, the top 5 things you need in flag football, and I get a lot of emails, a lot of DMs, a lot of text messages from parents, coaches, players wondering what equipment they should have for their specific player and position. So I decided to make a lineman video. I've gotten this request a lot of times on what gloves specifically for linemen. So what I'm going to cover off on this video is what makes a lineman glove a lineman football glove, and I'm going to use the D Tack 6 to show you guys that. It's one of the top 5 gloves I rated and definitely the best lineman glove from my perspective. I also have lineman gloves from Adidas, Cutters, and Under Armour, and I will go over those as well. But all of these gloves are going to have a few things in common, and that is what makes a lineman glove a lineman glove. So first, let's take a look at this. Why should a lineman have a specific glove, and why is it different than a receiver glove? Now, when you look at this, this has tons of padding. It is a rough game in the trenches for linemen, and they need a lot of padding. Now, this is the back of hand. I'm going to put it on so you guys can get a better look at it. But this glove has gel padding, so all the gloves are going to have padding. This one in particular uses a nice gel padding, so make it super comfortable all along the fingers. So the fingers and the thumb have gel padding. Now, on the back of hand, including this Nike sign, this is gel, all have padding to protect the back of hand. That's the first thing. So a lineman glove is going to have tons of padding on the back of hand. It's also going to have strategic padding on the palm of the glove, most likely here in the bottom, which you use for blocking. Very important in that position. So this has gel padding as well in the bottom palm of the glove where you're using your hand to block. Lineman gloves are different. They usually have an extended cuff as well, so you can see how far this comes down on my wrist. This is one that has one of the smaller cuffs, but it still comes down and has a neoprene cuff. All the lineman gloves are going to have a neoprene that is stretchy and comfortable because it wraps around your wrist. You do not need any grip down here in the bottom of your palm. Receiver gloves are going to end up here. Lineman gloves are all going to end down here. You can see this just has one strap around it. Now, some lineman gloves will have multiple straps to protect your wrist, provide additional support. Now, here's where you have some differences in lineman gloves. Not all linemen like to have fingertips on their gloves. Now, the reason is a lot of linemen like to be able to grip the ball. Now, Nike, this Nike D Tack 6, uses a different type of grip on the palm than the receiver gloves. Receiver gloves use Magna Grip for Nike. This has a Hydro Grip, which is supposed to be better in all weather conditions, a little bit better on gripping the ball, especially when you talk about a leather ball, which most leagues will use. Some linemen have half finger gloves, and that is so that they can have their fingertips be able to grip the ball. I would prefer something with the full finger. I think most linemen nowadays do use full finger. It protects the fingertips, and now most of them have grip on the fingertips so that you have that grip that you used to not have with some older style lineman gloves. Now, all the lineman gloves as well this year for the 2018-2019 season, it's definitely a trend. They are much thinner, much faster, if you will, and they feel closer to receiver gloves because they are that thin and they don't limit your mobility. So that in this glove, you can see how thin it is compared to some of the receiver gloves that you find in my other videos. So this retails for $65, and that's the price point for most lineman gloves, between $55 and $65. Sometimes, if you're lucky, you can get them on sale if you're buying them during the off period. This particular glove comes in several colors from Eastbay. I'm going to include that link in the bottom of this description. Now let's check out some of the other gloves. This glove in particular is from Adidas. It is the Freak Max lineman glove, and this is based off of their Freak glove, which is a padded receiver glove. Now, just like the Nike glove, this is going to have very specific lineman elements to it. The first thing is, like I said, the padding on the back of the hand. You can see the padding all along the fingertips here on the back of the hand as well as the palm. Now, this doesn't have as much padding as the Nike glove. This right here is not really padding the same as the foam that's here. You see some really heavy foam, and then this is unpadded. Now, it still has the neoprene cuff, just like the Nike glove, so it extends below the wrist further than lineman gloves. And now you see this great padding protection right here, much more padding in terms of surface area than the Nike glove, a little bit thinner padding than Nike glove, but more surface area. Now, this uses the typical grip the same grip that the Adidas receiver gloves have, and I would say that this grip, I particularly like this grip more than the Hydra grip on the Nike glove. You can grip the ball more. Now this also has a greater range of motion than the Nike glove, but you don't feel as protected on the back of hand. So this gives you the ultimate flexibility for a lineman glove versus the Nike glove. Now, something else with most lineman gloves, you're going to have a little bit wider of fingers because usually the linemen have wider fingers than your receivers. This glove stretches, so it does feel pretty thin on the hands. You could actually use this for a receiver if you wanted, even though you have this padding here. So it's not terribly different than the Freak gloves, which is the pad receiver glove. It just has a lot more padding. This is my second favorite lineman glove, a very close number 2 to the D Tack 6 from Nike. You can find this glove on Eastbay.com for $55, and it comes in multiple colors. Let's take a look at the UA Combat Gloves from Under Armour. This is obviously Under Armour's version of a lineman football glove, and this one is unique. Now we're going to take a look at this. So it has, again, the typical elements of all lineman gloves. It's going to have the padded back of hand. Now this one is a little more snug to put on than the others, and it's going to have a little bit less range of motion than something like the Adidas. Now it has this thick padding on the back hand. So this is probably the most padded lineman glove that you guys have seen, more padded than the Nike, more padded than the Adidas. Now it has this kind of tread pattern here to allow for movement, but it's not going to flex as much as some of the other gloves. So that is something that a lot of linemen like. They love having that flex. Now you can see here it has, or maybe you can't because it's dark, but it does have strategic placed grip, the same that they have on their new receiver gloves, the glue grip, so that is going to last. And then you see here, now they've done something different. Not only is this padded, but it has an overlay of that grippy material as well. So again, this is different. And then you've got this nice kind of suede material on the palm to make it super comfortable and super durable. This is going to be a lot more durable than a different type of padding on the glove. Something that's used in that position. Now, the interesting thing about this glove is besides the neoprene cuff, it's going to actually have a wrap around wrist strap like I talked about. You can see wrap around once, wrap around twice, to really provide that support at the wrist. The Velcro is solid. This is really sticky Velcro that's going to last all game. It's the only glove that I've reviewed so far that's really going to give you that additional wrist support versus something like the Nike or Adidas. So if you're looking for something with additional wrist support, you want to go with something like the UA Combat Gloves. Now, if you don't want it, you can convert it. You can actually take off this additional support, and now you can turn into your standard glove, standard lineman glove without the additional wrist support. So I love this glove because it does have the additional wrist strap, and that's something, the only brand on the market that offers that support. Now these are available on Eastbay.com for $55, and that is a steal for what you get here. Again, notice the limitations. You do have less flexibility with this glove. Now down to the fourth and final glove just on this list. This one is from Cutters. This is the Cutters Force 3.0, the third iteration of the Cutters glove. Now, just like the other gloves I reviewed, these are even thinner than what they used to be in the past. Again, you're not going to have the same range of motion and flexibility that you have in something like the Nike or the Adidas. Those two are the top because you do have that no restriction in the glove. Now this is going to be super padded. It has a foam padding all the way down the back of hand, including here, right in the middle of the back of hand. Even at the base, it has additional padding. There you can see it in the light. It's got the neoprene cuff. And this one has a wrist strap as well for wrist support. Now it only wraps around once, not twice, like the UA glove. I definitely prefer the two wrap around. That's going to give you more support, but it does lock in with the glove, and it's not removable. So if you get the Cutters Force 3.0, you're definitely going to have that additional wrist support. Now, Cutters did something different on the palm. They used their traditional C Tack, which is machine washable to bring back the grip, and they've got the C Tack both on the padding on the palm of the glove. You can see it's less surface area than something like the Adidas gloves. It's got less surface area than something like the Adidas gloves. You can see how much surface area padding you have here. Then you've got this suede, just like the Under Armour, over the entire palm, making it a very, very comfortable glove. You can still get all of the feeling, so nothing to take away from feeling the ball. Then you've got the C Tack on the fingertips. They can see right there to give you that additional grip. Now these gloves are $65, the same as the D Tack 6. So that's why you see the Nike glove, definitely prefer that for the price, but then you've got the Adidas and the U8 Combats as well. Now, like I said, all these gloves are available at Eastbay.com. Now, these are not the only Lineman gloves. These are just my 4 favorite. There's definitely more available out there. Like I said, there's a half finger where your fingers are exposed, but I like the full finger. So hopefully that helped you out for all you people out there who have players that, you know, work in the trenches that are linemen and looking for what specific glove, or if you're a mom or dad out there thinking about what you should get your child for their first football game, or if they're in the lineman position. I hope this video helped. If it did, be sure to give me a thumbs up, subscribe. Definitely check out my other playlist for linemen. Definitely check out the lineman playlist, and I'll see you guys next time.